Hello everyone, this is Felon playing Duke Nukem 3D. Previously I played Duke Nukem 1 and 2, which were side-scroller platformer games. Duke 3D, obviously, a little different. This is the shareware version. I did at one point have the full game, but that got lost along the years, so I'll just get started the shareware episode with the default difficulty. As already we're seeing things that the Doom engine could not do. See these sloped surfaces here? Doom can't do that. Doom, you have it's basically a 2D map where you have floor and ceiling heights defined for everything to kind of fake 3D. Duke Nukem 3D, you can have sloped floors and ceilings, and because you can slope things almost vertical, you can have the effect of sloped walls. True walls are always straight up and down, but as far as the player is concerned, there's no real difference between a slanted wall and a highly slanted floor. We have exploding things, as in Doom, but unlike in Doom, they can actually destroy parts of the terrain. We can look up and down. That's something that you can't do in Doom again. It's not that important, because although you can look, the aiming is still automatic if something is above or below you. You can jump. That's new. You can duck. That's new. Your basic weapons are very similar to Doom. You have your melee weapon. It's a kick instead of a punch, but still basically the same thing. Weapon 2 is a pistol. I'll use the cheats to give myself more stuff. T and stuff. 3 is your shotgun. 4 is rapid fire. 5 is basically a rocket launcher. They call it a rocket-propelled grenade, but same difference. Later weapons is where you start getting interesting. Where Doom has a plasma rifle, Duke 3D has pipe bombs. You toss it, it has a remote control. Weapons 7 through 10 are not available in shareware, but they get some fun and weird things, like you get a shrink ray, a freeze ray, rapid fire explosives, and of course the trip bombs. Like I mentioned, you don't have to aim up to hit something above you, it just kind of does that automatically. Being able to jump on things lets you do stuff like this. And one of these windows you can go in, yes. You get these security cameras, another fun technical upgrade. You can see Duke over there looking at the security camera. Cycles through a number of different areas. There's a camera in the bathroom, which in real life would be a privacy issue. Like in Doom, you'll sometimes have things hidden behind things like that. Up there you can see that camera that we're looking for, or looking through. I think another enemy pops out of this, unless it already did. Guess it already did. Up there's Atomic Health, which is your extra health upgrade. So you can also use the tilde key next to the 0, or next to the 1 rather, to do your melee attack without having to switch to it directly. Can I hit this? I guess not with that. Oh, there we go. That's one place where looking up and down is useful if you're trying to hit something that's not an enemy. There's a lot of stuff in the game that you can just break. That's not something that's a thing in Doom, except exploding barrels. You can break a lot of water fixtures to get a little fountain coming out. You can drink from to gradually restore your health. You have inventory items, as you can see on the right there. Shoot that guy. Can I jump in here? No, it's too high. You get inventory items, there's portable healing, there's steroids to move faster. The Hollow Duke is basically a decoy. Jetpack, of course, lets you fly. Very handy for exploring things that you would not be able to get to otherwise. Night vision goggles, basically what they sound like, you can see better in the dark. Air tank lets you not have to worry about air in the water. And I forget what boots do. Apparently they're automatic. I think that might be protecting you from dangerous floors. Anyway, come in here. There's some more aliens. You can shoot them out. Now, one thing you can see here, there is a doorway up there, or an opening anyway, that leads into another room. If you look at the map, you'll notice that room is directly above this area, but it's a different area. Again, that's something the Doom engine cannot do. You cannot, in the Doom engine, have two different rooms with the same X and Y coordinates, but different Z coordinates. In other words, you can't stack rooms on top of rooms. Duke 3D, you can do that all you want, as long as the game can tell which room you're actually going into by how you get there. So they can't be directly connect to each other, and the game has to be able to tell that you're going into the lower or upper room, like by having different doorways where they're positioned on the map. Let's see how to zoom out. Yeah. So the game can tell by, if you go in up here, you go into this room up here. If you go in down there, you go into that room down there. But they overlap each other on the 2D map, which, like I said, Doom can't do that. Duke 3D can also do things that make no geometric sense with that, because the rooms don't actually have to have different heights. They can be conceptually in exactly the same place, as long as you can't get directly from one to the other. The game doesn't care. And there are some levels that take advantage of that. Like there's, I think, one where there's like a space station where there's a center area where if you go around a full circle, you come back to a different place. And so you go the whole 360 degrees around, you should be back where you started, but it's actually a different place entirely. And you have to go another 360 around to get back to where you started. You have light switches for some dynamic lighting. You can turn lights on and off. You have mirrors. Another fancy thing Doom couldn't do. So basically what the game is doing here, which if you use the level editor that came with the registered version and tried to make mirrors, you would know about this. Basically, there is another room behind that mirror, as far as the engine is concerned. And what it does is render a copy of the room that you're in, and that puts a copy of all the things that are inside it to show what's going on. It's not a true mirror effect in the sense of, you know, ray tracing and reflecting everything and all. It just makes a reflected copy of the room there, has that as part of the level geometry. And of course, the characters are all 2D. So yeah, all kinds of neat technical advances. Of course, there's also the personality of Duke. You have you have items and other stuff to make things more interesting. You got things like the jetpack and there's just a lot of stuff to make things have more of a personality. And of course, Duke is known for his womanizing and all that. I'm not going to go to that particular part of the game, but you can find women around in scantily clad whatever. I think part of the plot of the game is that the aliens are after the women too. So you blow things up, it leaves a little crater on the wall. Again, destructible terrain. It's an interesting and, at the time, innovative concept. I'll just finish off the level. Boom. And like in Doom, at the end of the level, you get, you know, your time, kills, secrets found and missed. Yeah. So yeah, this has been Airfell. I'm playing Duke Nukem 3D. If I had someone to play with, I would do a little multiplayer. Again, multiplayer was a big part of games like this. I used to have custom maps. Some things I made myself, some things from the internet, some things for friends. But again, whenever the registered version I used to have got lost, those got lost with it, so yeah. Anyway, come back next time and we'll be going back into platformer games. This one will be from a lesser known company that is not, ID or Apogee or any of the big games that kept going. And I hope to see you then.